60% of Uganda's population are children under the age of 18 years, making Uganda a nation with one of the youngest populations in the world. Most of these young people have many questions and concerns about sexual and reproductive health during their adolescence. During this time of transition, they experience tremendous social, emotional, and physical body changes and rarely get support. For this reason, Save the Children, with funding from Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Netherlands, is implementing the Keep It Real project. Through Straight Talk Foundation and Restless Development in Northern Uganda, and by Action for Community Development, ACODEV, and Restless Development in Kampala. In secondary and primary schools, the project invests in training and supporting educators to deliver the sexuality education lessons using learner-centered interactive methods. In 2014, the project trained more than 500 teachers from over 160 schools in Kampala and northern Uganda.
Personally, at times I felt shy addressing things to do with sexuality. And I also had a misconception that maybe sexuality is to do with sex. And I had that fear in me. How can I address this? But when I went for training, I was given more information and more skills of handling young children, and then I was empowered.
The time also we went for the training, we really enjoyed it. We had good facilitators.
We had the lesson with the people concerned. We came and delivered to the learners.
Young people aged 10 to 24 years are now getting knowledgeable about their sexual and reproductive health and are beginning to make healthy and informed decisions.
When the teacher is teaching, I am also given a room to share other things like activities he gives in class. I can perform with other with other fellow students, and we share. And the lesson goes on very interesting. I've learned so many things. This is making a healthy decision as a topic itself, and also a family. Under the family, we have some other subtopics, like the roles and responsibilities I can do at home, even if I'm in school. Other things I can also do to help other friends also live a better life.
Sexual reproductive health. Kiber ka wachenene ken me teach ki condom ki don ken me gwaxe pierre kene
gen konyo me wek yin nge ko me wek pe wor di wo wek no ngamo ma tia ter gamo penyo gong ni pingwen tia ter gono ki dok ki wachi gong wek ka chi me report bo le phone mo wek nge ubet ki nge chi ye ke on kwar rom ra cher ga report ngai police ben.
The trained teachers facilitate the lessons in classrooms, while trained peer educators deliver the sessions to their club members.
Our Keep It Real project is very important to the learners. For the last, I would say, 1 year that we had in our school, it has reduced the dropout of children, especially girls, and that empowered them to choose the right way of living, especially friendship, how to choose a good friend, and then how to avoid a bad friend.
Here in Patongo Secondary School in Agago District, sexuality education is in progress. Equally in Kampala, A sexuality education lesson is in progress at Kololo Senior Secondary School, one of the 10 intervention secondary schools for Kampala in 2014.
My personality has driven me so much. Personally, I love young children. My father is a Reverend Canon. So from that background of empathy, I saw my father doing a lot to these children. So that's how I get the passion. It's the passion. Till after the training, I realized that we as teachers need to do more. So I realized that I need something more to offer other than just teaching these children.
The project does not only engage with in-school young people. Out-of-school adolescents and youth are also being engaged through trained peer educators selected from existing youth groups. This is one of the many youth groups in Agago participating in a sexuality education lessons.
Very active to keep it real. Konya machala bulu, lako kwana tia mena phone gina no pangeo. Chala no teach kin la chio kedawa. Char kamera chon. Mano ngata maron charo ki la kunwal. Ki kian me gen gwaka ke to jonyo.
In Kampala, the out-of-school youth meet regularly in this multipurpose hall to learn sexuality education. Groups and the materials they use are tailored to very young adolescents, ages 10 to 14, and older adolescents and youth, 15 to 24 years, so they learn age-appropriate knowledge and skills.
Engaging in the Keep It Real project helped me to know who I am, to know what is best for me. It helped me to behave as a real girl after having studied about sexuality, sexual health, reproductive health. Yeah, so I felt valuable as a youth. I felt that my life was changed. I started changing my behaviors. I began to behave as a real girl.
Devin is 14 years old. Her perception changed because of the lessons she participates in.
Byenjagaddemu ebyokusoma bituwadde entandikwa nga okuwa respect abantu, like our parents n'abantu abo betusanga mu makubo ngaabo n'obawa respect n'obagamba ne baba bakugambye ekintu tojeema n'obayamba ku ebyo ebimu bye babagambye.
As a youth, I had many boyfriends, and all I was running for was money. I wasn't trustworthy, I wasn't faithful, I didn't have those skills. But after joining the Keep It Real project, knowing its many objectives, I managed to overcome the challenges of having many boyfriends. I chose one I'm faithful. Yeah.
The Keep It Real project also strengthens health linkages between young people and existing health facilities. They often have in-depth health talks delivered by trained and experienced health workers to answer questions and create supportive linkages.
For purposes of ensuring quality deliveries, tracking our performances, as well as documenting experiences to inform decisions, different monitoring tools are rolled out, and our field staffs conduct regular and systematic monitoring and support supervisions of the educators, and as well as, trying to make sure that the implementation is going on as it is supposed to be. The Keep It Real project works in very close collaboration with different stakeholders. This includes the young people, the local authorities, in this case I mean like the local government officials, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education and Sports, as well as Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. There are also different CSOs that we engage with.
Now that the teachers are trained, and now that the peer educators have been trained, we think that lobbying through Save the Children to have it be incorporated in the curriculum, the school curriculum, can be one of the ways to really make it attractive to the students. Then secondly, the methodology of imparting this sexual education also matters, because we need to go away from the traditional ways of teaching or disseminating that information about sexuality education.
Collaboration with community development officers, district education and health officers are crucial to the project.
As a department, we've also been able to do our assessment, and we found that there is very high level of defilement, very high level of teenage pregnancies, very high level of school dropouts. But with the presence of this particular project, we believe the rate of defilement will come down, because the children will be able to make rightful decisions and say no to early sex. We also believe that this project will help reduce on the rate of school dropouts, especially the girl children. We believe their retention in school will be improved, because they are aware of their sexual reproductive health, they are aware of how to keep themselves while in school, and in this way they will be able to finish up their education. We are also aware of the high rate of HIV/AIDS that is really intruding into our young people. But this particular project really gives me a green light that we shall be able to reduce on the level of infection of our young people in the near future, and we shall be having a healthy generation that will be productive for the development of our country and the district as Agago.
Okay, yeah.
Plans for the sustainability of Keep It Real project are underway.
If this project will end, these youth that are trained through this project should now actually be known where they are living, and we would be using them to be talking to others. Even in the villages, we could also bring them back, and they will be able to talk to our learners in the schools. So we would use them, not even these project officers who are actually trying to train them, but it is now these youth that have gone through this project. They are now the one going to be used to talk to others, to retrain others, so that they also get trained and they will just continue like that.
Local leaders in the designated areas are also involved in the implementation of the project.
And I encourage that we do it together, so that we build the synergies, so that we optimally use the resource that we have to make the best out of this project.
Save the Children also works hand in hand with Ministry of Education and Sports and district education officers, DEOs, to train and support teachers to deliver evidence-informed sexuality education curricula.
Through these projects or interventions like Keep It Real, that help us to translate the information and the knowledge into practical skills. You know, it is one thing to give awareness and information, but it is also another to have this information translated into practical realities. For such projects, help us to first of all, to spice the programs, because it will be very boring for just to keep giving information and information. But when you have these projects at a smaller scale, they can put these children in two groups, whereby they can internalize this information, they can see the applicability of the information, and then the message is delivered better and properly than when you simply make it too theoretical.
To be able to effectively implement sexuality education program in schools and reach out to out-of-school youth in Uganda, members of the Parliament of Uganda are pledging their commitment and support to meet this goal.
We are looking at how can sexuality education be rolled out in the different schools of Uganda at a lower level, so that young people this can be incorporated in the school curriculum, so that sexuality education is part of something a child or a student learns when he or she is still at school. That's some angle that we are pushing government to address. And then also to avert the challenges I talked about, like unwanted pregnancies, abortions, among others, we are also tasking government, because among the ministers of the 21 countries that signed the East and South African commitment includes the ministers of Uganda. So we are looking at the line ministries, especially the line sectors like education and health, to challenge them to address the commitments that they made in Cape Town. That is the ESA commitments. And there's no one who can push that other than the parliament. And of course, I'm proud that I'm part of the process. And we are meant to put the executive to account. And I think that's the only way the parliament can give back to the young people.